The enormous fireball you saw behind me. 5 minutes ago, that was my garage. And the woman standing beside the excavator, smiling while holding a clipboard. That's Linda, our HOA president. I had just come home from work to find heavy machinery ripping my house apart because she claimed my wall was 2 inches over the property line. But Linda was so fixated on destroying my home that she never checked the utility maps. She simply ordered the operator to dig without hesitation, and they struck the neighborhood's main gas line. She thinks she taught me a lesson, but what she really did was commit a federal crime that's going to cost her everything she owns. If you believe entitled neighbors deserve to be taught a lesson, take a stand for justice. Smash that subscribe button right now and join the team. You do not want to miss the next revenge. To understand why my house is currently on fire, you need to understand Linda. I bought this corner lot 3 years ago. It was my dream home. It came with a detached brick garage built in the 1980s, long before Linda ever became HOA president. For the first 2 years, everything was perfectly fine. Then Linda got elected, and the power immediately went to her head. She started patrolling the neighborhood with a tape measure and a color swatch book. She fined me $50 because my mailbox was too shiny. She fined my neighbor because his dog barked at a squirrel, but her real obsession was my garage. 1 month ago, I received a certified letter. It said, violation. Your detached garage exceeds the easement line by 2.4 inches. You have 30 days to demolish the structure, or the HOA will do it for you. I thought it was a joke. A garage built 40 years ago. Over 2 inches? I immediately hired a professional surveyor. He came out, measured everything, and confirmed the garage was completely legal. It was grandfathered in. I sent the official survey to Linda, thinking that would be the end of it. But Linda is not someone who likes being wrong. She sent back a reply. Your survey is rejected. Our internal measurements show a violation. Removal is scheduled. I called my lawyer. He told me not to worry. He filed a cease and desist order against the HOA. He told me, Alex, go on your business trip. They can't touch your house while this is under legal review. I trusted him. I packed my bags and left for a 3-day conference. I thought the law would protect me. I was wrong. I was driving back from the airport when my phone started blowing up. It was my neighbor Mike. He was screaming so loud, I could barely understand him. Alex, you need to get here now. She's doing it. She's actually doing it. My stomach dropped. I drove 90 miles an hour. When I turned onto my street, I saw the dust cloud before I saw the house. There was a massive yellow excavator parked on my lawn. It had already smashed through the roof of my garage. Bricks were falling everywhere, and there was Linda standing right next to the operator, pointing at the wall like a dictator. I jumped out my car, dropped my bag, and ran toward them, screaming, Stop! You have no right to do this. Linda turned to me. She didn't look guilty. She looked proud. She smirked and shouted over the engine noise, You didn't follow the rules, Alex. Now I'm fixing the problem. I tried to run past the caution tape, but the machine operator swung the arm back for another hit. He was aiming for the foundation to rip out the concrete floor. I yelled, Wait, the utilities. Did you check the gas lines? The operator hesitated. He looked at Linda. Linda rolled her eyes and yelled at him. Ignore him. Dig it up. The operator followed orders. He slammed the metal bucket into the ground and pulled back hard. First, there was a loud hiss sound like a jet engine. Then, a split second later, boom. The shock wave knocked me off my feet. A pillar of fire shot 30 feet into the air. The operator jumped out of the cab and ran for his life. My garage wasn't just demolished, the IT was incinerated. The heat was intense. I scrambled backward as sirens wailed in the distance. Within minutes, the fire department, police, and the gas company were swarming the street. They had to evacuate the entire block because the leak was so massive. I sat on the curb, head in my hands, watching my property burn. Linda walked over to the police officers. I heard her trying to spin the story. She said, "I authorize standard blight removal." The homeowner refused to comply. This is his fault for having an illegal structure. She was actually trying to blame me. But then a man in a hard hat with a city badge walked over. He was the city building inspector, and he looked furious. He walked right up to Linda and the excavator operator. "Who authorized this dig?" he asked. Linda puffed out her chest. "I did. I am the HOA president." The inspector narrowed his. "Okay, show me the demolition permit and show me the utility marking ticket number." Linda looked confused. "Permit? I don't need a permit. This is HOA land." The inspector actually laughed, a dry, angry laugh. He said, "Ma'am, you just ordered heavy machinery to dig in a residential zone without ASCII permit, and you failed to call 811 to mark the gas lines. Do you realize you just blew up a main supply line?" Then my lawyer pulled up. He handed the police the cease and desist order that Linda had ignored. The dynamic shifted instantly. The police stopped looking at me, and they all turned to look at Linda. Her smile finally disappeared. The best part was when the insurance adjuster arrived. Linda ran to him desperate. She said, "We need to file a claim immediately to fix this mess." The adjuster looked at the police report. Hell looked at the inspector's notes about no permit and gross negligence. He closed his folder and said, "I'm sorry, Linda. Our policy covers accidents. It does not cover criminal acts or illegal demolition. The HOA insurance is denied. You are personally liable for all damages." Linda's face went pale. Then the police officer stepped forward with a pair of handcuffs. "Linda, you are under arrest for reckless endangerment, criminal mischief in the first degree, and destruction of property." They handcuffed her right in front of the neighbors she had bullied for years. People were actually filming it and cheering. The court case was brutal because she acted outside of her legal authority. The corporate veil of the HOA didn't protect her assets. To pay for the damages to the city infrastructure in my home, the court ordered the liquidation of her assets. She lost her big house on the hill. She lost her savings. I used the settlement money to not only rebuild my garage, but to add a second story to it. Fully permitted by city, of course. Linda is currently serving probation and is banned from ever serving on an HOA board again. She tried to take 2 ENES of my land, and it cost her everything she had.